Hello, everybody. I'm low energy today. Uh,
I'm not on my camera just yet. I did do the update, so should be good, but
yeah.
we'll see, won't we?
Good luck with that.
Tell me about it. Story of my
Yeah.
life. So how was your weekend, bro?
Pretty good. I think I killed in the game last night.
You what?
I think I killed in the game last night. I don't know. Your opinion on my performance?
You did fine. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, that's why I said I think I killed. Fucking grade A material. Woo!
There we go. Could hardly hear you.
I could try turning things up. Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. I'm old. My
Oh,
ears are going.
what?
I said, I said I'm old. My ears are going.
Yeah, I'm also a little, like I said, low energy. Uh,
Yeah, the boy, he's got a problem with that too. I personally, I think it's him uh, running the air conditioner in 50-degree weather, but that's me.
yeah, no, I didn't get any sleep last night. I tried taking a nap before the show, but I just woke up, so I'm
Gotcha.
in the just woke up energy mode.
I've been up since 7 a.m.
Yeah, I
Hey,
was up at
Bubba.
7 a.m. Bubba.
Hey, morning, afternoon.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I saw your videos this morning. Nice,
You
nice.
know, well, I saw one. Did you do more than one?
Yeah. I got this morning, it's like, you know what? I just started rambling over a cup of coffee because I haven't made a video in a while. And I ran across something. And that's what's got to inspire me. I got to be inspired by something I've read or saw and like, whatever. Player's Handbook. I didn't bother reading up the Player's Handbook yet.
I'm gonna show you right here. Uh, basically, uh, the illusionist at under the list of seventh level spells on page 42, it lists the few that there are, but the last one is first level magic user spells.
Why would you sacrifice a 7th level spell for a first level spell? Even the
No,
shit list of illusion ones, because they're all pretty awesome, actually.
yeah, alter reality, astral spell, prismatic spray, prismatic wall, vision, or first level magic user spells.
Prismatic spray all day, baby. Shoo! Taste the rainbow, bitch. Plus, whoever got a fucking illusion to 14th level.
This guy, a couple
No,
of them.
man. Those are, I don't know. They lack the offensive spells, and it really depends how your DM ruled on illusions. If you had a DM who didn't rule properly on illusions, don't play one. Nor
Well,
cast Phantasmal Force ever.
right off the bat, when you're looking at like fifth level spells, chaos, demi shadow monsters, major creation,
Yeah.
maze, shadow magic, and summon shadow. So even if they disbelieve the illusion, the magic is so potent that it still does damage.
Right, right. Shadow stuff's not bad. You could play a Shadow Weaver, and they're really kind of cool. Well, you can
Phantasmal
play around the
Force,
concept
shadow
of mirrors.
monsters.
So that's where the
Uh,
name comes from.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I like the concept of illusionist. In play, not that great.
You know,
Not that great. The second you run into golems and undead, that guy's just sitting there, maybe throwing a dagger or a dart, praying he's not noticed.
Yeah, well, in the infamous words of Al Bundy, I'm invisible.
I'm invisible.
it won't matter to the golem because he's just going to smash everything, around, and you're going to take falling damage from the ceiling and
Shut up.
crap
I'm
like that.
invisible.
Immune to illusion phantasm. What is invisibility listed as? Illusion.
Yeah.
Going from a strictly flat, raw, wouldn't work on. But if you take the thing as the illusion bends light around me, that works. But that takes a ruling. But as written, Dugar and the golems and the undead are not affected by invisibility. That's why there's an invisibility undead spell.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I found that out last week.
The hard way? Aaron finds it out the hard way.
I ran before it got its hands on me.
You know, if they're intelligent, they might play along. A vampire would play along and toy with you. A specter is just going to slap you. Out of hatred.
Not only slap you, but slap you for some levels.
Yeah.
Hard press to get back.
And I was like half a second away from that happening, was I not?
I've always made the joke that if a high-level group of adventurers walked in and there's a huge ancient red dragon and 5 specters, that party will focus all that firepower on those specters and ignore that dragon breath. They'll ignore the dragon breath because dying is a speed bump compared to level dragon.
One is a noble end, and the other is demoralization.
Yeah, not just that, but a little bit of humiliation thrown in there just for good measure. You know,
I think
your ninth level fighter is 3rd. Just saying.
Now, you could play the numbers and you could lose less hit points. I made them roll their hit points they lost as they went down levels. You could theoretically get more hit points going back up and have above dice range hit points.
So the serious question.
The opposite.
The serious question is the way I'm set up in our game. It'd be 3 turns, and I'm pretty sure I'd have all that fucking dealt with, though. Some sort of dragon breath. Then I summon a water elemental, and then a couple of Vikings just to mop up anything else, and then I run the fuck away.
Yes.
Yeah, well, see, he's got this horn that blows away dragon breath.
Yeah.
Blows away dragon breath?
A random one.
Or just blows. I mean, it's a horn of dragon breath, or it's a protection from dragon breath.
It's a horn of.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, yeah. And then I've got another one.
It's totally random. And
yeah, I hate random. You always bop in your head. Oh, the undead! I blow forth chlorine gas. Fuck.
Yeah.
But when I do it, I use good, neutral, and evil dragon breaths in the mix.
Yeah.
So it's even more off the wall what you're going to get when you throw the neutral dragons via 2nd edition or whatever.
Like the repulsion gas and.
Yeah. You really weren't expecting what I did last night, right? Like
no. Just between you, me, and one other person that I discussed this with, I literally prepared nothing for last night.
Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm going into Wednesday like that, but we're doing a session 0 Wednesday.
Yeah.
My old school Essentials game is ended.
I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
That's the video I saw. The first one.
Oh, you didn't hear the story.
No. I assume some shit happened.
Players, man. It's always players. It's usually magic items. And it's greed. I mean, it's player greed. So I have an artifact in the group that a guy's picked up. It's the Black Iron Spear. It is an artifact of Grimish. Yeah. They will do a side quest, and every time it hits something, there's a 1% cumulative chance that your alignment shifts, which we're playing 3-point alignment, so he's already neutral. That already happened. And the longer you hold it, the more orc-like you become. So after a month, fuck you, you're an orc. They were doing this side thing, and then they fell back, and the guys were like, we're taking 2 weeks off. Okay, you're doing 2 weeks to what? We're going to take care of the cleric until his disease goes away. And I ruled it takes a week per attribute point to get him back. Right. 1 week of rest to get your attribute point back after attribute damage. So they're waiting that all, and they're all just ignoring what the other guy's doing. He goes, I'll just stick to myself. It's getting worse. I'm like, yeah, it is. I said, you guys, how much time go long? 2 weeks. I went, 2 weeks, huh? Okay. I looked at Joe, you're an orc. You wake up one morning, you're an orc. And he's like, I'm just going to leave. I quit. He's just going to skulk off into the mountains. And I'm like, well, that's going to derail my campaign. So I did something I normally don't do. I was like, let's get everything back together, back on course. So I rolled. I just gave it a 1 in 6 chance for the other guys to wandering monster themselves into his path and talk him out of it. They 1 in 6. Was no talking. It was, we subdue our former buddy. We strip him of his magic items. We put him in chains, and we lock his ass up. And then for the most of that session, they sat there in chat talking about, should he play another character now? I'm like, I just tried to get the game back, because if this left the dungeon, that would have been the end of the major quest, right? There'd been no real impetus to go forward. And I kind of hand-waved the grappling rules and stuff. He lost initiative. They just ran house him. But that, I'm like, oh, shit, that sucks. So I said, what are you guys doing? So they remove cursing, and they figure out how to transport this, because it's set up to any fighter class creature sees it, they got to save or they want to possess it. Just see it. So they box it up, they hide it in a vault, and I let time go by. So I let the taste, the desire for it fade. As long as you don't see it, you won't be overwhelmed to possess it. You feel that lessening, so they could let the character play. And then towards the end of the session, I'm still not giving his shit back. We're keeping all his shit. He's like, what? I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, we don't trust him. He's got to prove himself to the party that he's not going to try to sneak off in the middle of the night again. We're not giving him the magic items back, because he'll just walk off and leave us. I'm like, well, those are his picks. He picked those items. Well, we're tired of relying on him because of the folding boat and the oar to navigate the river to get further down the Underdark. We're just not giving them back. So I got one. Do you realize after the alignment shift and I gave him all the characteristics of an orc as a roleplay impetus, roleplay it. See what you can do with it, bud. And then go, we're not giving him shit back, and fuck him. And we're like, we'll give some of his items back. We're not giving this back. I'm like,
at the risk of sounding like a petty child, like, okay, I guess you guys don't want me to play her anymore.
That's right. It would derail the campaign. So I was like, yeah. I'm like,
that or you've got a player who's just waiting to freaking stab you all in the back.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it would be totally within justification to go, the first chance I get, I'm taking the spear back. Because the spear was awesome. +4 weapon, save versus spells at -4 every time I hit something, it'll be paralyzed for 2d4 turns. Yeah. So first time he drinks a potion of speed, he's like, I bust it open and take it and fucking kill everybody.
I've got this ring from Arduin, which is what the fast transit or whatever.
Ring of rapid transit.
Yeah, that thing. So it's like that potion.
Well, it's better. Haste doubles you. He's got a ring that allows him to move 10 times faster than normal.
Yeah. Well, what made me mistake? I made a big mistake though, with hand waving the grappling to get the party back on track. Was he had a ring of free action? They would have not been able to grapple him, even though he was blinded. They blinded him. They said we grab him, we hold him down, we take his stuff. There's no holding him down. He escapes all bonds. So I didn't realize they were going to screw him in the long term. So
yeah, that's your players.
Yeah, that would, rather than have it derail, I was like, we've been talking about playing Dragon Slayer anyway. Let me throw this out here, guys. Would you rather just end this on a slightly higher note or go forward? Because they've also given this evil temple 6 months to prepare their defense before they assault it again. 6 months. And in that 6 months, they've already hired the assassins in the local city to kill them. So now they're afraid to go anywhere by themselves, and now they're going to assault, not realizing they have spies amongst them already, that they will be sold out, and they will be ready for them, waiting with elementals and lots of fighters. So I just knew it was going to end in a wipe within 2 sessions.
That's pretty much what's happening.
Or a rage quit.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's happening in Bruce's high level campaign. They'll go in, kill like 2, 3, not even 2 or 3, like a dozen giants, maybe
Run
2
away.
dozen at the most, and then retreat for like 5-6 weeks, if not a couple of months.
Stupid.
So in our game that Shadow's running last night, this is why I'm a little pleased with myself. Um, so we're given a choice of going like Lil Railroady to either a cemetery, a bar, or a temple for clues. We end up going to this temple, and for the Kazon, this god Kazon, Ogla from Star Trek Voyager. Shut up, man. I can't not say it without finishing. But nonetheless, so we go in, and I'm invisible because like I've got this ring of invisibility.
Yeah.
So I'm just fucking invisible all the time because
As long as nobody looks at him.
I'm chuffed with myself because I got this thing that allows me to just be invisible. So I'm just sneaking around, and we find out that the guys that we're looking for are not actually part of the church, but they're also like using it as cover, and whatever. That this kind of like I realized this really quick, and I get into a fight with like the bad guy we're looking for, and then I blow my horn of Valhalla, and then the actual like priest dude thinks it's his god. So I just quickly run with it and pretend to be his god while invisible.
Yeah, it was pretty amusing.
Yeah.
The poor priest, had, he
Now I've set this order on the path of holy war against these other motherfuckers. You better fucking run with that.
Faction play is the funnest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick the next module. What they want to do. They want me to string a bunch of TSR stuff. They want me to write stuff from scratch.
This guy was not expecting this. You can see the fucking look on his face the whole fucking time.
Can't say nothing because that gives you inside information. So he can't respond to anything you're saying because that gives away the fucking what you don't know.
No, you can see the like.
No, it was just very. It was very. He did a good job of improvising and taking advantage of the situation and his, being invisible, etc. And the poor priest, thinking that his God is finally speaking to him, like, like really speaking to him.
I punctuated everything I said with "Woo."
Ooh.
What's up, George? Yeah, it was a good session last night, and I really didn't think of it as railroady because you guys could
Well,
help
it's
out.
always
Railroads.
you give us a limited number of options, but you have
Well,
to do
no.
that
I mean,
because it's a quest.
those options were if you wanted to continue down that path to actually, help out the police chief as opposed to go do your own thing, which you guys are always open to do at any time.
Yeah.
You could at any moment just go, fuck this town.
I was mostly hedging people making that claim in the chat.
Most players don't care about anything else in your world, dude. They only care about what's on their sheet and how powerful they are.
I fucking hate that.
All player characters are chaotic neutral.
You can ask you can ask this guy. I am not that player. Nope. I fucking hate that attitude. You'll notice me when I see players at our table doing that. I roll my eyes.
But are you going to do anything about it? Are you going to PK a motherfucker?
Nah, I'm not a total asshole. I will make snide remarks if it's too bad, though. You can ask Shadow. He's probably heard me make snide remarks when I catch the player at the table doing that fucking too much.
Yeah,
we had
just play the fucking game.
BX game one time, and the ghouls were just swarming out some little low-level wizard. They said, "What do you do?" It's like, I close the door and cast Hold Portal. They're like, "What?" I cast Hold Portal, then flee. you're locking them in there. It's like, yeah, I did, because I didn't want the ghouls to get out. Once the ghouls figure they can't get after me, they'll go back to eating their corpses. They were just more upset there wasn't a full TPK and that one person survived and got all the XP. It's like, I offered to fund the next party. I'm just saying.
I've got to find some sort of amulet or gizmo of like what was it? Heal
Cure disease.
cure
He's got
disease.
this whip. Check it out. He's got a whip that if you get hit with the whip, you make a save versus submission and a save versus disease. If you fail either, you get hit with either. The submission, as in you now do whatever he tells you to do, and the disease is they start to rot at 1 hit point per round until there's nothing left.
So basically, you create a temporary zombie.
Kind
But
of,
if he can negate the disease on his minions, he'll have minions that will be, good little minions for quite a good long time.
Devote their efforts to me. So I've taken to walking up behind somebody while invisible, whipping them, and they're just like, worship me, bitch.
It's a pretty powerful dot, though, if they get the disease dot. It's like, I just run. They're going to die.
Well, then I throw them into combat right away.
The reason they took 2 weeks for that one character is he had a parapet of foul rotting. They discovered it. That he had it. They basically met it a little bit. It's got to be that. Let's do some research. It's the parapet of foul rotting. Let's cast remove curse and then get back to adventuring. They never removed the disease. The disease still progresses. So when you get hit with the parapet of foul rotting or mummy rot, remove curse has to be followed by cure disease. You still got the damn disease.
So which could be highly contagious.
Never says that mummy rot and stuff like that's contagious. It's just
you could play it either way.
Because to me, mummy rot sounds like leprosy, even though leprosy isn't actually contagious in that manner. Right. They don't know what causes it.
It's a bacterium, no?
Yeah, leprosy is contagious, actually.
Really?
You get like, for example, you get someone who has leprosy. If they touch an open wound,
yes,
you got leprosy.
Yeah, it has to be an open wound.
Yeah,
is the thing.
It has to be it's a bacterial stripe.
Yeah, well, you don't let them perform any surgery, I guess.
Well, you could have like you could have popped a pimple or something.
Close proximity,
or scraped a knuckle, or
scratches. And in the medieval world, people had little wounds on them a lot more because they heal as fast or cover them, practice proper hygiene. So it would appear to spread like that. But if you practice proper hygiene, yes, you can interact with lepers and not really worry about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird because I was just going by reading Lord Foulsbane, which the main character has leprosy. And mind you, this is in the 80s, so maybe they've come across more info since then. But, that was the big thing is that, it's not contagious.
It's contagious. Just like pneumonia. There's bacterial pneumonia, there's viral pneumonia, and there's different strands of pneumonia. It's not just one thing. Like leprosy is not just one monolithic leprosy. There's different virals, just like different types of pneumonia, viral, bacterial, and other.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Right. Well, he should have done more research, damn it.
Well, that's like I was just about to say that. It's also how much research did he do? He's just like, I've heard of leprosy. He's got leprosy.
Yeah, I'm terrified of pneumonia, so I'll read up on it.
Yeah.
I've had done a couple times, and right now, if I get it again, it's bad news.
I know everything I know about leprosy from movies and Pulp Fiction novels.
Yeah, that's like saying, "Oh, I know there's scarabs in Egypt because of the mummy movies."
Yeah.
Lots of them that eat bodies.
And that's exactly how they are in real life.
Creeping Doom, though, on screen. That's the best representation of a creeping Doom spell.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Black.
Well, it didn't freak me out as a kid, but I always thought, like, if in reality, if you were being chased by a horde of bugs that are going to eat your flesh, that's got to be right up there as one of the scariest possible things.
Oh, I'm terrified of stuff. I don't like being eaten alive is a visceral human fear, like fear of the dark. But Creepshow, the original Creepshow, I gotta take
Oh
this.
yeah, where they bury him
Yeah.
at the beach.
Yeah.
Where yeah, Leslie Nielsen, I think that's what he's talking about. Buries the people he's upset with. Uh,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
not upset with them.
before high tide.
He's a psychotic. I remember that episode. He's a psychotic serial killer. He records people drowning and then watches them later.
No, well, I think it
Yeah.
was actually more that his wife was cheating on him, and he got the two people, his wife and her new boyfriend or whatever, and he did record them,
Oh no, no, no.
but
Later on, they show him doing that with someone else. Like he's got a whole list of videos of him recording doing this to people. He's a
Yeah.
serial killer.
Yeah.
These
He
are
was
just
a
the
serial
first ones
killer.
that had the enough anger to come back and get even with him.
oh, okay, I don't remember that part at all. It's been a while.
Yeah. I remember the wall of videotapes or whatever.
I don't remember that at all.
Life of Brian. It's a good film. I want to have babies.
Yeah,
I have the right to have children. The Life of Brian, the Knesset scene in
Oh yeah, the
the
early
amphitheater. Yeah, it's the only scene I remember from the film. That and the Romans,
shit song for the best.
the Romans requiring the one guy to write properly how to that he hates Romans
Yeah.
all night long on the side of the wall, right? And then they congratulate him for writing it properly like 100 times on the side of the
Then give me the last.
amphitheater. Yeah, and so they leave, and then another legion comes along and looks at the wall and goes, "Get him!"
Terrible. I got bounce. Grand Kim wants to go pick him up, so I'm like, sure. I'll be over
Okay.
here and dig my car out.
Good luck with that, man.
Well,
Be
enjoy
careful.
your
I'll let
4x4.
the sun do most of the work. Yeah.
Okay, party
Take
on,
care,
man. Ooh.
So what nasty things you gonna say about him?
What? What were you saying?
Oh, just making a joke. You know, someone leaves and he immediately starts saying nasty things about him.
Oh no, never.
Oh.
So I was making a joke. You know what nasty things we're gonna say about him?
Oh. He's got 4 eyes and he's smelly, funny looking. Wow.
That was a good guy.
Oh, that was a smart ass remark more than anything, anyway. So
Yeah, that's why I killed him.
Yeah, hey, funny thing happened to us last night, crafting. Uh, Justin and Cal and everybody else, we were all hanging out, playing our game, and on Discord, and Bruce pops in for like a second.
Yeah, you could create a role for everybody in the D&D group called AD&D player or something like that, and those are the only people that could have access to that particular.
Oh, it's okay. I think he wanted to invite me to Connell's stream that happened last night.
Yeah.
And I did go over and say hi for a
So
minute,
did
but
I.
it was school night, and Jackie's going right back, back to school today, after a 3-week vacation. So I had to, quiet the house down and all that shit.
Yeah.
But that was kind of funny. He thought we were just having a chat. And he was going to just pop in. I was like, if it weren't a game, hell, even if it was a game, if you just wanted to sit and watch, you'd have been more than welcome. But he was like, I mean, if you would have blinked, you might have missed it.
I did miss it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I heard a click, and then I went to go look to see who it was, and then you're like, "Oh, Bruce just left." And then I saw that thing pop up in the sidebar.
Yeah, he apologized for interrupting, but it's no big deal.
what do you guys think about the spell haste?
I don't have a problem with it. It's handy.
I hate
the
it.
fact that
You
hate it. What?
It ages you by a year.
I was going to say the only thing I don't like about it is the aging effect, which
As soon as I found that out, I told everybody, "Oh, you're not getting this spell willy nilly. You have to specifically ask for it."
No, they read the consequences. They read the consequences, or they reap the benefits. right? That's what the book is there for.
Oh no, they know what the consequences and the benefits are. That's what I'm saying. If you guys want haste, you are asking for it. I am not aging you by a year without you guys saying you're
Yep,
willing to do
yep.
that.
Because after 10 hastes and 10 years, it's about time to retire.
Yeah, you start getting the aging effects at that point.
Well, it
Yeah.
depends on how old you are to begin with. If you're a
Yeah.
teenager, maybe not. But if
Well, most
not,
of us started off between 18 and 21.
yeah,
Well,
so
yeah,
35, you're done.
yeah. So, you could be a grizzled old adventurer.
Sure,
Um,
but in it wouldn't be it'd actually be more like 50 in AD&D, where you would literally start losing a strength, dex, and con point as soon as you hit like 51, I think it is.
yeah.
And
So,
trust me, most players would be like,
yeah.
never.
Um, yeah. Well, every time you do it, it becomes more of a thing. You have to weigh the cons
And there
and
are
benefits
other
for.
spells in AD&D that will age you. There's a few other spells, but they all age you 10 freaking years.
Yeah,
Fuck,
no.
No.
fuck that. Now there are potions and things out there that will de-age you. You drink a potion and you roll a d12 and you get that many years back.
Well, so far
Okay,
in Bruce's game, I would not call that. I highly doubt that would be a common potion.
right.
What I've seen in Bruce's game, he gives out. I know you guys said I was generous, but that's just most because it was a one shot. But compared to Bruce, I'm actually a very stingy GM. I mean, at least in my opinion, because it's like, damn, Bruce, you're just loading us down with money. I got
Mhm.
more money than I need.
Yeah,
I mean, I
I
literally have
was
more
in his
money than I need.
campaign for the better part of a year, I think, and there was a lot of good stuff. Some things were different, but it was actually, for me personally, it was better to just go and easier to just go buy the magic items I wanted, which I don't like at all because what are we going adventuring for other than money? Let's just stay in town and gamble or something, or rip people off, or you know, work scams or something, and just find ways to make money, legitimately, and save it up and make a big business, and then just buy the freaking shit we want.
I like being able to buy or make magical items. Uh, what I find adventuring good for is less for the character, and no, I don't know if you do domain play, but more for when you start having hirelings or domain play. Like Kai and I have it. Just this is probably what I love Kai. He and I think almost exactly alike on a lot of things. When we're going to build our kingdom, we're not just going to go, okay, you are all now part of my kingdom, pay taxes and I'll protect you. No, it's going to be, all right, once a year, you come in with the sword I give you, and I will teach you how to use, and my people will teach you how to use that sword. So if we get attacked, not only are you looking to me for defense, you'll be able to help defend your home.
Sure, and commerce and things like that, improving relationships and making the kingdom
So,
stronger through innovations and things like that. Absolutely.
so yeah,
Uh,
being able to buy magical items doesn't for the main characters doesn't bother me because most of what I'm going to find isn't going to go into my personal collection anyway.
Um, I look at it as you find things and they inspire you to do things, and then you should be able to buy the things that you need to fill out the gaps in what you don't find, right? Like
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
like I keep talking about wanting to find an amulet or a trinket that allows me to heal uh
Diseases.
diseases. Sorry, I'm
It's okay.
on nap mode right now. Um, but yeah, like I would look for that in a shop and hope I find it, right? As much as pray that it'll pop up in a dungeon somewhere.
Sure.
There are players in the parties that can do that, but I'm dependent on being with those players, and then that's taking it away from the group, George.
Hey,
Taking
what's up,
that
George?
gear away from the group if it's needed. Where if I had it for myself, I could do it willy nilly, right?
Uh,
Yeah.
And like we do occasionally split the party.
Yes,
So I would,
occasionally.
yeah, and like because of the size of our party, it's not a totally uncommon thing, especially when we're in town or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Nor should it be. It should not be a hindrance to your gameplay for a party exceeding 3 players to split and still be a functional game. Um,
I'll agree
yeah.
with that.
So,
What?
in your games, do you guys have multiple people, like multiple, backup characters, and
Yes.
Yeah, and
okay,
most of these fuckers play all of them at once. I told
Almost
Shadow
pretty
not
good
to.
about not doing that.
Yeah,
Um, uh,
Omen. Yeah, but I said most of these fuckers.
yeah.
I think I'm pretty good at it too, but I deliberately didn't create
Well, you
two at
only
the
have one
beginning of the game.
character, so.
Well, I got 2 now. I got Slave Girl
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and her name is Slave Girl. She knows how to be a good slave girl.
Which that alone should, not should, but would freak so many people out, including one of the players who's not a big fan of it. But it's like, hey,
Who? Grim.
Grip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Raven's probably not thrilled about it either, especially since she tends to walk around nude. Um,
Yeah. I wasn't originally gonna do that, but somebody threw a hissy fit, so I fucking
it's a fantasy world, and that's not entirely uncommon in some places in the world,
yeah.
especially during
No,
a certain time of year.
seriously, if no one got mighty and high horsey about it, she'd be wearing clothes and shit. But somebody did, so I said, "Fuck you want to be a Puritan asshole? I'll make this worse for you. I can be a douche right back to you, bro."
Yeah, it's more his own personal
Yeah,
beliefs as opposed to the character. Although the character is a paladin, so
yeah,
you kind of should expect that. But at the same time,
yeah.
his character comes from the frozen north, so it would be like even more so. It's like how could you do that? Why would you do that? It's dangerous and blah blah blah. And the funny thing is the NPC probably gets a kick out of it
Hmm.
just because
Yeah,
it keeps people's attention off other things. Just saying.
yeah. Oh, which is fun, right? We all have fun.
And
Uh,
I come from the oldest of schools, that being, my Arduin background, and they had slavers. They had the you can almost trace back the word courtesian or courtesian, however you pronounce it.
courtesan.
There you go. From the Arduin character class of the same name. Not saying that every time you hear that word. But if you hear that word in conjunction with anything fantasy oriented or science fiction, even you could link it or potentially track it back to that particular character type, which was almost identical to Inara's character in Firefly. Okay,
Yeah.
not just the what she did for her job, but the guild mentality and this almost part of society and higher society. If you have one of the it's kind of like the Bene Gesserit, sort of thing. You've got this group of women that they're running shit behind the scenes,
Hmm.
and that character was or character class, I should say,
yeah,
was pretty much like Inara's profession in the game, and this was back in '77. When
Yeah.
D&D was just basically in its very first edition and maybe only second or third printing.
one
And
one interesting thing is with like the whole like sort of courtesans and things like that. Like in Dune, I think like there were uh, like people didn't know about them. Like it was like a mystery. Like they weren't like everybody knew about it. Maybe the emperor knew about it. Of course, the nobles knew about it, but everybody else was like not in on their secrecy.
with the Bene Gesserit.
Yeah, it,
Yeah,
or maybe it got lost. It was a concept early on, and then it got lost later. But it seems like that's how he wanted it, at least in the beginning.
Right.
the
My understanding was,
they're
maybe
truth sayers. They're human
yeah,
Yeah,
that
detectives.
depending on the world and whatnot, they might or might not be all that secretive. But on average, maybe the common person didn't really know much about them other than ooh, don't piss them.
Well, they were a guild, right? So you could send your daughter off to them, um, just willy nilly or whatever. Um,
yeah. I think there were non Bene Gesserit truth sayers. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I
th-
think there
there
were.
there were there were some that left the thing. Uh, the new HBO TV series is pretty good, by the way.
I thought the Bene Gesserit had to be born. I mean, I knew they could come from any house, but I thought they had to be specifically born. Like they had to
No,
show a
no,
particular
they're
type of talent, and
trained.
then the Bene Gesserit just scooped them up like the Jedi.
No,
No, no,
they're
it wasn't
trained
like
just
it
like
wasn't a
Philoxeny
midichlorian
and
or birthright thing. Because Paul had training in it, from what I remember,
yeah.
early on, because his mother
Yeah,
was.
because once again, my understanding was Bene Gesserits weren't supposed to give birth to males.
No, no, that wasn't Bene Gesserit specifically.
Oh,
They
That was
wanted they wanted
well,
her. They could control what they would birth
yeah,
through
I knew
mental
that they
training.
wanted a daughter specifically, but I was under the impression
Yeah.
Bene Gesserits, unless specifically told to otherwise, were only supposed to give birth to
no,
females.
no, 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 no.
No, no.
Because the basic thing was they were conducting a giant breeding program, a eugenics program to bring about the Kwisatz Haderach,
Yeah.
and they thought that they,
S-
in doing so.
Specifically, they wanted if we're going to take the new TV series as lore, they wanted to bring it into the house of the Harkonnen
Yeah. Well,
because
didn't they want
yeah,
to wed House Atreides with House Harkonnen and
Yeah,
end the feud
even in the book, it was supposed to be an Atreides daughter to a
of
Harkonnen heir, which would
Harkonnen.
have made it born into the House Harkonnen.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it does seem like a long plan, like from back in
Yes.
the past, that we're going to have this line in Harkonnens and this line in the Atreides, and those were kind of the main things they were trying to breed
So
into their
basically,
plan.
had it worked, Sting would have married Paul,
yes,
Paulette.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
the
yeah.
female Paul, technically. Well, not even the female
Paulina,
Paul.
Alia.
It would have if it had been born female, given the fact that
Paulette.
Kwisatz Haderach is supposed to be male, it
mm,
wouldn't have actually been nearly as powerful. It
well,
would have been at best a
no, no,
master
no, but
Bene Gesserit.
because Paulette wouldn't have been the Kwisatz Haderach. Their
Well, yeah,
child would
the
have been.
Kwisatz
Yeah,
Haderach has to be male. That
Yeah.
much I did know.
Yes.
yeah. Well, Alia
It
was
Was the
basically
female
what they
Kwisatz
were looking
Haderach?
for.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
not
she
really.
was a
She's the one.
reverend mother from
No,
Yeah,
birth.
yeah,
she was
that's what
a
I mean by she's the female. That's the most powerful a female
no, she was literally
could
a
get.
mistake,
She would
an
be the mother.
abomination.
Yes.
The plan
Well,
would she would have been the mother of the Kwisatz
she
Haderach.
was because she had the full knowledge and awakening of being a reverend mother from the womb,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Like so, everything that she displays is the same thing that Jessica could do, but it's the only thing she ever knows. Like she has no personality beyond
yeah.
like always having the knowledge of
Because normally, if you were going to become the next Reverend Mother, you were not supposed to be pregnant when you drank the water of life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was the mistake.
The
But
Which
precious and
is
all that
something
stuff.
I'm certain they already experienced prior, even though we don't hear about it.
Yeah,
That's how
because
they knew that you don't do
that
that.
that story had never been told, right? Like
Right. But I mean, clearly it would have had to have happened once before.
Yeah.
it's why I really like the prequel series, even though the writing is not up to it. Paul Anderson is just not the best writer. Um, like he's a fine writer, but he's not at the same level as
Herbert.
Herbert.
Yeah.
But the story is like it's a pure full on Greek tragedy. And I don't know. It's spread over like 4 or 5 books or whatever, for 3 or 4 books, where which is common for the time it's written in. But the rest of the series are self-contained stories, decades apart, uh, which also changes the tone for the rest of the rest of the series, right?
Yeah, well the books. Yeah, the prequel
The
books by Anderson and Herbert's son.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah they do feel like a different tone, like the nature of the magic in it and stuff like not really magic, but like it
well,
takes a lot of the psychedelia out of it. I think.
well, it's set before the fall of technology, right? So I
Yeah,
understand that that's not the
So
thing, but
before the jihad.
well, it's during the jihad, right?
yeah,
It's literally the jihad series. So the machine gods are still like controlling Earth, and people still know what Earth is, and uh, they're still using computers to navigate faster than light travel instead of because the navigators don't actually fold space. They just like know the course and hit the button, right? So,
Okay.
so
yeah,
they fill the role of the computer that knows when it's
No,
safe to.
that takes a lot out of
Yeah,
the previous
So I thought it was a bit of a
perception.
combination.
yeah. So
Like
so
what happened with the navigators is they didn't use all their power to fold space, but they almost initialized it. They like put the 2 points together, and then
yeah.
they activate the ship's engine with their own power, and then it kind of just combines the
Well,
two to trump. That's what I've always been under the
they
impression.
literally navigate, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that they like make sure the path is clear and stuff like that. Where before AI would shut the drive down if it was getting too close to something, and then re-navigate and turn it back on.
Yeah,
yeah.
because
And if you didn't do that, 1 in 10 jumps would be a failure, a catastrophic failure.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you'd hit micro dust or
So
whatever.
yeah, and like one of the things in the books, like they're like there's this war and stuff, and they just basically didn't have the navigators and they couldn't use the computers, so they were just jumping, knowing they would have a 10% casualty rate just
Yeah,
from the beginning.
yeah,
And
and so like there's this there's this revolt on Earth, and uh, there's an Atreides that was like the house slave to one of the robot minds, and he helps. And then there's another guy who fakes the death of the child of a child, which he uses to gather forces, which is the whole Blake thing, the butler,
word of
yeah,
Blake,
whatever.
Serena,
Blake be with
Serena
you.
Butler.
Yeah, Serena Butler was like the mother of the child. Uh, and then like the whole time, so it's basically a buddy film, like a buddy cop film with like a Harkonnen and an Atreides, and they're working around together, currying messages back and forth and leading like assaults and crap like that. Um, and that they have like opposing opinions on how to deal with things. And then at the last minute, the Harkonnen guy realizes that like the guy that's running the political thing is duping a bunch of people, and he tries to warn them because there's going to be like a unnecessary killing of an entire planet, which is Gady Prime, or not Gady Prime, Salusa Secundus. And then because he tries to warn people, they brand him the traitor, and
Yeah,
that's how the Harkonnen family falls into disreputation. Uh, so it's literally like a Greek tragedy in that sense.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah,
one of the
that
things.
that no.
No, it works. You have to know the structure of Greek
It
tragedies, though.
it worked
No,
well.
no, no. What
I
I'm
liked
referring
it.
to is that will not go nearly far enough to explain how the Harkonnen devolved into noble beasts.
Well,
10,000
it's
years
been like 500 years, bro.
Yeah, but
more.
that right there was a noble sacrifice. They would remember that, and they would be a more noble
Well,
people. They would not be
that's
noble
the thing.
animals.
That's the thing. Their whole thing is like out through the history of the series is tell the truth. Tell the truth, you Atreides, and the Atreides are like we have. They don't listen to us, and the Harkonnens don't believe them, and then they fall more into this reputation until the point where they don't even know
Yeah.
why they're asking the Atreides to tell the truth anymore.
The
And
yeah.
it doesn't help that the Bene Gesserit are fucking manipulating that in the background and keeping it going.
Yeah, one of the things I remember that, and it was, I think it's more like 10,000 years, because I think yeah, it's all right. But like that helps explain that, like, it's a long time. It's a culture that gets evolved from that starting point. There were one of the things I didn't like is I think was the Bene Gesserits are basically telepaths, which
They
was
developed that skill through selective breeding,
Yeah.
but they
it was
weren't at the beginning.
but it wasn't telepathy in the original books. It was prescience, which was like
Christians.
calculating basically events to figure things out.
Right.
Very subtle techniques of seeing your emotions on your face and things like that.
Yeah,
Not
micro expressions
yeah,
Yeah.
not
and things that are not
mind reading.
necessarily, mind to mind contact. But
Now,
I looked at it as like they probably literally had a battery of skills and
yeah.
abilities. It wasn't just like one,
No,
like
no,
Justin said, monolithic thing. It was
that's the thing. Okay, so they start off with like the honing the micro expression thing, and that's really carried out through the training in the new TV series,
Mhm.
which I recommend you watch. Is really good. There's like a couple of shit libby stuff in there that like can put you off. Just like a couple of word choices that are like not appropriate. But if you step over those, it's a really good story. But that psychic thing, what you do see in Dune, like the original Dune book, that's like a new development in the last couple 100 years of their history. Like that they've been breeding towards it because like a lot of their stuff is the breeding towards it. And I also think it's like a
Yeah.
post water of life thing because though on Arrakis they use the spice poison, that test is like the Reverend Mother test is like it can be done with any poison. Like
Hmm.
you're literally poisoned and then required to change the poison to not poison in your body
Yeah.
for that awakening to happen. But yeah,
Yeah. I think the Bene in the books, in the original books, the Bene Gesserit basically took a spice extract that was just so much that it was toxic. While the on Arrakis they had a similar thing, but they just took it from a natural substance, from the
they they
natural
they, they,
source.
they took it straight from the worm.
Yeah,
Uh,
take it straight from the worm.
yeah.
Well, once again, this might have just been the movies, but my understanding was it was the bile of an undeveloped worm. What?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that the maybe HBO or whoever's making it would have gone that route.
Hey, it's always been my refrain that in Dune, the entire galaxy runs off of giant worm jizz. So,
The water of life.
Well, he's not 100%
not
wrong.
really watery though, is it?
It's worm.
And if it
Alien worm.
is, you should probably see a doctor.
um, actually, I think it's supposed to be menstrual fluid,
Yeah,
but
pretty. It's kind of is. It's what it is. Is
but
apparently the
it's
worms can drown when they reach a certain once they get so old. But when they first are born, they either seek out water or they're born in water, and they live in that water. It's their feces, effluents, and the fluid from them being birthed that eventually dries out, that eventually coagulates as they move out into the desert, it becomes a big old pocket that bursts to the top, to the surface, and it dries out in the sun, and that's what you have for
I much
spice.
prefer to say it's worm sperm, just because it's alliterative.
Oh,
It's worm
the
sperm.
the way that in the Children of Dune, and spoilers for anybody hasn't read it,
Yeah,
or
just go. It's been
okay.
60 years, motherfucker.
Yeah,
So since it
I
wants
read
to,
the first 2.5 books.
so the early form of like the sort of what do you call it, like the like the caterpillar phase of a worm is called a sand trout, and they're kind of like little manta rays almost, and they since they want to encapsulate moisture, what's his name does what uh, uh uh, Paul the Second, I guess you can call him, or Paul the God Emperor. He had basically coated himself in sand trout, and they're trying to encapsulate his body, but they're not also rejecting it or eating it or anything because he's basically totally loaded with so much spice. So he becomes that's how he becomes the God Emperor.
The giant worm.
Yeah,
That looks really
I,
fucking creepy.
I remember there was in the I didn't like the after Children of Doom. I didn't when I first read the books in like college or something age, and I didn't like the later books like Children of Doom and the later ones. I'm like, as are, but now I'm starting to like them a little more. Like
Yeah.
in God Emperor of Doom, which is like after Children of Doom, and where Leto's the God Emperor, and he's like he has this like not friend. It's like the ambassador from Ix, who is like the
Yeah.
kind of he hates him so like he's like basically the emperor is trying to make the world not like this guy, but he keeps him around, and I think what they ended up doing on Ix is they genetically made a person that was the opposite of their previous ambassador, and so it makes this wonderful, very empathetic woman that he falls in love with. And but
Yeah.
that guy, I forget I think it was Malky or his name was or something like that. And he's like, it's like he says to him like, under that body of yours, is there a giant penis, of equal size? Like he would say the most vulgar things to the emperor, and that's why he kind of kept them around. But
Yeah. No, I think it's why I keep Shadow around, because he lets me say the most vulgar things to him.
you're his,
Uh,
he's your Duncan. You're his Duncan Idaho. Just always.
yeah. And where's my palisade? Oh wait, no. I'm thinking of Gurney
That's
Halleck.
Gurney.
Yeah, I'd much rather be Gurney Halleck.
Yeah, that
Fuck,
was one of the things
fuck
that
Duncan.
bugged
That's
me.
why I
That's
hated.
why
I
I
hated.
noped
Yeah,
out of the second. I think it was the third book.
I
Um,
hated Duncan in the first book. Okay.
and bringing him back and all this clones and stuff. It just made it. To me, it seemed like lazy writing. It's like I got this cool character, and I'm not going to let him go no matter
He
what.
was a
I'll just
cool
keep bringing him
character.
back whether you like it or not.
Well, he was never a cool character. I think the point was solely to fuck with Paul.
No, what I mean is that Herbert thought I've got this cool character,
No,
and I'm not letting him go.
I don't think he thought he was cool. I think he thought this was the character that Paul liked, so to fuck with him and
Or
bring him back.
interesting or whatever, however you want
Yeah.
to. He
Yeah.
wasn't gonna, I noped out of Next Generation when the Borg drilled that shit through Geordie's head and they didn't kill Geordie. It was like, you know what I mean? It's like
Oh, nanites. Yeah.
I was like, nope, I'm out. I'm out. They clearly won't kill anybody off except Tasha Yar because she wanted out of her contract. So they will do whatever it takes to keep them
No, she didn't
alive.
want out of her contract. She wanted a raise or more screen time.
Well, whatever it was, I thought she wanted out. Honestly, that's what we had heard back in the day. Maybe the internet wasn't as good or whatever, or in existence. We couldn't get that insider trading info until later. But it just seemed like you know someone's got to people are going to die. Look at the old Star Trek. Obviously the main bridge crew never died, but you could guarantee that someone was going to die in a red shirt. They didn't even
How?
have red shirts anymore in Next Gen. You know what I mean? It was like no
Yeah.
one's dying. Period. Like,
Well,
well,
people died.
I know, but
Not as
not
often.
enough. Not enough.
It wasn't like a beat. It wasn't like a pre-scheduled beat. Uh, team leaves ship. Team lands on planet. Guy dies. Team finds out what they're doing there. Guy dies. Team goes somewhere else. Guy dies.
One one thing, kind of back on Doom, but on a similar subject, because with people dying and stuff, is it was written
Fuck
omniscient,
is that?
and my Jersey phone got spam.
Oh,
Uh, so
your
the
Jersey phone.
so I bought a new phone when I moved out here, and I kept the old phone number, but it just sits here, and all I just get is spam on it all the time.
Okay.
So it's written omniscient, where like who the traitor is from like the a few chapter, not even a chapter in or so, where you
Yeah.
like the first point of they're not even point of view chapters, are they? I'm not quite sure how it was done, but they were like it was
No.
very
So I think it's third person omniscient.
yeah, and even I wonder if like they could have just done it where it was you know from the view of characters that you don't know who's the bad guy would have it worked would it could it have worked could it work or did it need to be like that?
I will note, bro. If you're joining the writing thing, you got to put a fucking Google Doc in the thing that says writing group links, telling us you're a part of the writing group.
Okay,
Okay, that's
all right.
like how we
Yeah,
should
I want
shit.
I want to see something besides these two guys writing. Besides,
Yeah, well,
my own place.
this guy isn't participating this round.
Right. Hey, what's up, Raven?
Raven.
Oh, and
Yo.
Shadow. As for not enough people dying on Star Trek Next Generation, I have a question for you. If every, and I mean every single away mission has the record of a 50 to 75% death rate, would you fucking leave your planet?
Well, they
Of
didn't have that
course.
high. I was joking with
It's
how
all
Yeah, yeah,
100% death.
No, 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 you're not
no,
actually.
it was
Every
one
single
guy would
every
die.
single mission has a 25 to 75% death rate.
It's
Uh,
yeah.
Everybody dies on somebody dies on every
One
single away
casualty.
mission.
Well, I would start sending 10 people,
I think it's
and lower
200%
the
death
lower
rate.
the
yeah,
the overall numbers just by that.
If
yeah.
the transporter is involved, it's a 200% death rate. You're transported down, you'll die, and then you think you're
Hey, hey,
that
hey,
person,
hey!
and then you're
Star Wars
transported back.
Well,
has Star Trek has
I
souls,
would go one
and if you have a
further.
soul, you don't die during teleportation. And anybody who wants to deny souls in Star Trek, the Q.
Yeah, no. We assume that that doesn't count as death because of internal lore. No, but I think Kirk's Enterprise had the highest death toll of any ship in the Federation, and it was like 270 people died on his crew during the 5 year
Yeah, and here's the
voyage.
thing: that was supposed to be an average ship, not a special
No,
ship.
no, it was the flagship. It was a special ship. Uh,
No, no, no. I mean, according to my understanding of both Star Trek and Star Trek Next Generation, Enterprise is supposed to be a representation of the average day in a Starfleet. In Starfleet, in Starfleet. Bleh.
eh, no, there have been
Maybe
statistics run. He had the highest death toll of anyone in Federation
Well,
history. Like that's official canon.
And he
that's
he was
official
on a
canon.
specific mission.
Well, maybe that was. Well, my understanding has always been that the shows are supposed to represent not a special ship, just one of many ships, and what they
oh
all
no,
go through on a regular
I
basis.
couldn't derive that. I couldn't be convinced of that, having watched all these special missions that the Enterprise was always on with
Yeah,
ambassadors and things like that. It was like it definitely came across as a special ship.
it was the flagship. It was the first in the fleet.
I'm not sure if it was necessarily a flagship, but they were on
No,
a
no,
they were on
literally, the
a
Enterprise is the flagship of Starfleet.
Where's Mister Max when we need him? He'd tell us.
Yeah, man, I'm actually a bigger Star Trek nerd than him.
we have to say his
I know
name
it's just
three
funnier that
times.
way, though. Come on,
Yes,
it is funnier that way.
Mr. Max, Mr. Max, Mr. Max.
yeah,
And
but
what?
Put the squat rack down. I know you lift the whole rack up for your exercises, but put it down. It doesn't need to go on the other side of the room again. And hop in here for a second and tell us some random Star Trek lore that's got nothing to do with our conversation. And Raven, where the fuck are you? You know where the link is.
Yeah, come in here and tell us how Data was actually a form of necromancy.
Data?
Data was I thought he was a golem.
Yeah.
Golem.
Data. I could be wrong. Once again, I'm not a Star Trek expert, but my understanding is either Data was meant to be the creator's lost dead son, or the fact he couldn't have a son. And if he's his dead son, that's a form of necromancy.
Well, it
Nah,
did
he
look
was just in the robots.
it did look like him.
Well,
Yeah.
same actor, so there's that.
Yeah, Brett Spiner. The I didn't watch it. My wife watched. She actually had fun watching the Picard show.
I wouldn't watch that if you paid me.
Picard was actually pretty decent up to the point they had the planet of the children of Data. No, their attitude, they were the children of lore. And the fact they tried to make them off as the children of Data is like, no, that is not Data. That is not Data
Yeah.
at all. That is lore.
Yeah.
And I lost interest right
Yeah,
there.
I
my
watched the
wife.
first season, but
I came in the room and my wife was crying because I guess Picard had to kill Data, like erase him from the memory banks or something.
now personally, I think that Star Trek Picard ends this way. Riker, Beverly, Data, Diana, and
I
Worf.
thought Troy died
No,
in season 7 or something.
no.
No. There's only two characters two main characters from the entire series that died: Tasha Yar and Data.
Yeah.
Together again.
Yeah. Fully functional. So
Well,
they're sitting at
except
the
for that
card.
pulse.
They're sitting at the card table, and Picard asks if he can join, and they say yeah, and then as they all get up and walk away, and he's sitting there at the card table, right? He reaches up to his chest. There's a little spark between his fingers because his robot heart blew up. Then he falls face forward into the card table, and the show's fucking over. That's the end scene to Next Generation. All the movies never happened because they all suck.
Yeah, just
Just
take that. Take that. Just remake that episode with Q. Just like re-edit it.
yeah.
Get stabbed
I
by
want
a
another
Nausicaan.
season of Picard. I need to retcon a few things. He was like, "Nah, I've been watching the last few years. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this."
And he just dies saying, "Why did I piss off that stupid Nausicaan?"
Yeah.
Just regretting his last words. Fucking Nausicaans.
Yeah. He's just like this. He's just like this. He's just like this on the cartoon. Fucking Nausicaans. I don't know if you can. Fucking Nausicaans.
And then the crew go to like the home planet of the Nausicaans and they do Exterminatus.
They're so grief stricken over some bald French Englishman. For the vineyards of Upper Manhattan.
That was a pretty good Picard impersonation. You had the tone really good there, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did that. That was good.
Yeah. I happen to be quite fond of Captain Picard.
This is
This is my captain.
Yeah, I hated him.
His
I
life
hated
is flashing before his
Every
eyes. It's
syllable
all the
that ever
worst
came out of
parts.
that actor's mouth.
I am going to.
Well, here's the thing. I can't stand guys.
They're awful.
I can't stand guys that can't keep it in their pants.
You're gay though.
The moment you have a character,
Trust
the
me,
moment you have a
once
character,
you've
there's
got
one
it
thing
out,
between
that's
being
fine.
gay and not being fucking everything that moves.
If
I mean,
you're
hell,
not willing to fuck one space rock for the team, you're not a bro.
Oh shit.
Watch Jersey Shore. You'll
yeah,
know
I
how
would
it
like
goes.
my dick to stay where it is, not get crushed and then ripped off. Thank you.
Well, I see you never watched Jersey Shore.
Well, we don't-
Nope.
Didn't he keep it in his pants when Riker just gave him that Horgon thing, and everybody just was coming around asking him?
Yes.
the aptly
Then
the
he
aptly
found. Then
named
he finds out what
Horgon.
it is. He looks at it, and goes, "Right,
I want a
and
fucking
hides it.
Horgon, man. I'm gonna print one of those things. I'm gonna print one of those things up on my 3D printer.
Oh, you can actually. I'm 100% confident you can find a
I know
STL
you can. I
file of
think
it.
I've seen it already.
I want one carved out of wood like the original.
Yeah, well, you paint it to make it look like.
If you get the right if you get the right STL, it could probably have a wood pattern
Oh,
printed onto it.
And then
Or you could just go to the Philippines and have someone carve you one for about $8.
Or you can just buy the wood and carve it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it a project.
Well, you
Yeah, problem is buying wood here in America. That's $80.
right. Well, what
No,
you do is
you can find it. You can just find a piece of wood in the
you go out to the
woods.
forest.
And then get arrested for stealing from the
No,
government.
Yeah, they don't do
you
that.
can find a piece that's already dead.
Yeah, you just
Oh no, I was making a joke. So it was years ago, but someone tried to I don't know if it was like someone legal or just some idiot, but someone tried to say that taking out taking even a branch out of federal land is the equivalent of federal theft.
Oh,
No, if it's already dead, they don't give a shit.
the people
If
in
you go in with a chainsaw and start cutting down trees,
the
yeah, you
Well, you do that with just about any forest, you're gonna get your ass in
the
trouble.
forestry cops in Boulder, they're like they get mad at they like arrest you if you stack rocks. Like that whole rock stacking thing. They arrested some guy for stacking rocks. It's a hazard on the trail.
well, you don't
yeah, if
stack
you
them on
do
the trail.
on the
Then stack them on
trail.
the side of the trail.
But
Yeah.
but Boy Scouts do that. Like they put little rock stacks so you know where the trails are.
Yeah, it's literally.
Oh, did you guys hear about the boy? This was literally was years ago. I remember that for a sec. The Boy Scout leader that was almost charged with federal crimes for defacing a federal monument.
No.
He and the Boy Scouts were like in one of those places where there's weird rock formations because of the wind,
Yeah.
and they seen a rock that had like 3-4 inches base with a gigantic thing. With a gigantic head, basically. The troop leader says, "Hey, let's push that down," basically because he figured it was a hazard since it was right next to the path. They push it down, record it, put it online, showing them all being "Yay, we did it." He was they tried to charge him with defacing a national monument because it is considered one of the national. What are those things when they're natural?
Landmark?
But
Yeah.
thank you.
Well,
Because it was considered
if
an
it was
official
recorded
landmark.
as such on like anything like a map or a movie or a television program or something like that, and
I think it was because of its natural formations.
yeah, if it was like on postcards and things like that, then they kind of have a case.
Yeah, but if it's never recorded as such, it's like.
It's a
Yeah,
little
but then again, why is he like? Let's just push it down because we can push it down. Like that makes no sense.
that does sound a little vandalistic.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if it was like I said, so well known in the area, like we've got
How many
I
decades
told
had
you guys,
that been standing there before this guy says this could be a safety hazard?
we've got I told you over by our fairgrounds. There's some old like wagon wheels, covered wagon wheels, and some old like tractor. Like there's part of a tractor or a tractor from like 100 years ago, right? Or a plow or something, and it's been sitting on this corner for forever. Okay, longer than Palmdale's been a town, a city, or whatever. And if someone came along and swiped that, I would want to see him strung up for it.
Palmdale, not Dale Palm.
So let me get this straight. You guys are just fine with federal charges over a rock.
I'm not.
Well, yeah, if it's like the guy went there and destroyed a thing just for the sake of doing it because he was being self-righteous. Yeah, I don't think there should be heavy charges, but
I
And,
think a warning and look, somebody might have been at the bottom of that mountain. You don't know.
yeah. Like he could have fucking caused an avalanche and killed a bunch of people because he was being a self-righteous prig. This is why they force them to have girls now.
Girl
You know,
Scouts.
I didn't understand that, but hey, what's up, Dean?
like 5-6 years ago, your Boy Scouts were forced to
Oh,
to
fuck
go
that.
co-ed.
Fuck that. Fuck that. You know,
Ours were since like the 80s, so no
I
longer
would just say make
shit.
your own scouts. Oh, wait a minute. They do. They sell wonderful cookies. Pick a side and stick with it. You know,
Yeah,
look you know,
the girl guys actually hated it because like it was destroying their membership or some shit like that. But I don't get it because we have the girl guides up here and our scouts are integrated.
yeah, you could
Uh,
easily make an integrated scouts as well. You got Boy Scout, Girl
no,
Scouts, and
no,
then
like our Boy Scouts integrated in the 80s or some shit like that. Because when I was in it in the 90s, we had both, and it was a really good
yeah, but
time for me.
what are they called?
They just dropped the word boy,
Okay, well,
just the
someone else should
scouts.
pick that moniker up and make an all boys scout. Just make sure
Yeah,
there's no NAMBLA members in the scout leaders, and you're good.
yeah. I think that's why ours integrated was because there was a Nambla incident.
Yeah, well, I just found out that what was it, Samuel Delaney, the writer? Yep,
Don't know.
you never heard of him? Samuel R. Delaney, I think is the name. He's a famous science fiction writer, but he also was a member, card carrying NAMBLA member.
Samuel R. Delaney. Samuel R. Delaney. I
Who's
think I've
got like
seen
the
this
wind chimes?
weirdo before. That's Shadow. He's like
Uh,
on his deck smoking. That's why his camera's off, so we can't see him smoking.
Oh, my camera's off. Hey, fuck you. You want to see me smoking? I only got like 5 days left, so
will that get you demonetized if they see you smoking?
No, no, no. He wants to
speaking
quit.
of which, I just got an email from YouTube to be a partner or whatever to start getting not money, but the other
Yeah,
stuff.
the
Uh,
memberships.
yep.
Yeah, do that. Do that.
Well, yeah, but
Play button.
then I got to kind of tighten the reins on discussions and stuff, and I don't know if I want to do that.
Nah. All that does is allow
No, no,
people to do the
Super chats.
super chats. I think you can do channel memberships, and if you want to do like
and besides, Shadow,
member only videos and shit like that,
Yeah,
you
I don't know
can.
if I want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to do all that, but I don't know if I what I would do. I mean, I see what other people do for their members only, and I'm like,
Well, you could do this for your members only.
Yeah.
Dick
yeah,
all.
yeah, I
What you
would.
know.
yeah, you
You're
get
used to giving all
you
the
get the
dick.
video live. You can either watch the video live or become a member to watch it later.
Has any YouTuber done a members only jacket or no? Like
Fuck, showing your age, brother. Love it.
Well, bro, I'm telling you, if I ever get to that point, it will be a modest $500 jacket, and it will be made
I'm
by
willing to bet.
the
I'm willing to bet that
it will be made by the cheapest bidder I can make them.
I'm willing to bet that Raven's got a members only jacket still right next to her parachute pants. Would I win the dollar, Raven?
Parachute
Yeah,
pants.
she's got-
I'll bet Raven's done a few skydiving.
anybody here is like sent in
Just
the Marlboro
so-
box
she
tops
puts
or
them.
like,
oh, dude, I've got a horror story from hell. I literally owned everything except a ping pong table in duplicates. Everything. Backpacks, sleeping bags, tents, Swiss Army knives, watches, you name it, I had it all. All of it. All I got left is one freaking duffel bag because of one ex. When we split up, she somehow managed to get every fucking thing. Freaking raided our freaking storage unit, took it all. Wait, no, I think I might have a Swiss Army knife or a watch or a lighter. But I've seen all the stuff on. Thanks, Dean. You can still go on eBay and find like everything. I'm looking at one of the dusters. They had a really. Okay, so I wouldn't win the dollar. Um, I'm looking at one of the dusters they had because it
Punishing
was a
grants, yes.
reversible brown like leather duster, but reversed to more rain uh, resistant inner. You know, so if you wanted to walk around looking like the guy from Curious George in a yellow trench coat, you could reverse it. But it was pretty badass. But then I saw some even cooler dusters that weren't yellow on the inside. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't get the freaking pool table because you had to have 10 people sign as owners. So you couldn't own it individually. You had to get 10 buddies who would write their, sign on to it, which meant that, if you wanted to leave state or some shit, they'd be like, well, hey, I want my 10% of the pool table.
Well, you get 9 friends to just fucking
Sign off on it.
yeah.
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 Well, back then it would, I was, I was like 21, so
Yeah,
22.
you offered 9 random people on the street $5 to sign off on it.
Yeah, and never tell them why, or
And it's
you
just like,
never give
bro,
them an address.
I need your signature so these fuckers will give me my pool table.
Yep, yep. And
What do I care? Here's $5. Oh, okay. Here you go.
sure. But back then, everybody I knew, they'd be at my pad, playing pool. So, which is
Yeah.
something I'm absolutely going to make sure I have the money for when I open the shop. There will be a fucking pool table.
Oh
in there.
yeah.
Well,
Oh, I miss
Me
pool.
too, brother.
My sister and her husband got rid of with my mother's permission, got rid of my grandmother's pool table, and I was so disappointed, but not angry. As much as I loved having that pool table around, my grandmother put it in a room that was literally half the size it needed to be.
yeah.
Literally, there was no playing pool in that room.
That sucks. Yeah, I miss playing pool too. I used to be pretty okay. Not I couldn't make any money off it or anything, but I definitely would definitely if I had a pool table in my game room, I would definitely spend about an hour a day playing pool. Easy,
Oh
easy.
yeah, I wouldn't play that much, but I definitely. It's like if I really had the choice about it, pool room, 1 lane bowling alley, pool room, 1 lane bowling
Yeah.
alley, 1 lane bowling alley. Here I go.
Really?
Yep,
Huh. I've only played.
I love bowling.
I've only not one game, but I played pool. I bowled once, a long ass time ago, and yeah, it's
Uh,
not my thing.
what the fuck? I'm reading this article on fucking Delaney.
Oh, was I right? Yeah, yeah. Don't do that. Don't be one of those guys.
The North American Man Boy Love Association.
Ugh.
Yeah. And
Oh,
Dean, I could see doing something like that. I've seen a lot of videos of people going on hikes for rocks and things like that, and doing quite well.
Oh,
okay. I will state that this article says he supported the organization in the 80s because he liked their newsletter when they were just a gay organization and not the pedophilic one. And then he distanced himself from it when he realized what they were actually about.
Okay, But
Did they
still,
have
But still,
did they
homo
have a
shit.
different name, or it's like
No, like I think it was meant like the actual sense of men and boys being allowed to love men and boys or whatever. But like boys being not children, but
you mean above
males.
18?
Yeah. Well, I guess if you were like a teenager who was also gay and doing other teenagers, but you know how gays are.
No, no, I really don't.
They're really rapey and pedophilic, and they'll admit that to your face if it comes up. If not, they'll gloat about it.
yeah, the Milo guy talked about it. It's like, but he's like, oh, it was great, fine. Just an older man, and I was like 14 or whatever. It's just like, oh boy, it's my headmaster at the school, or
Gross.
Yeah,
And Dean, it's the North American Man Boy Love Association.
yeah, with a slash between man and boy.
Um,
the
just
Slashy Award.
Yeah,
below a certain age, if they can't consent to a whole bunch of other things, or aren't deemed whatever the opposite of delinquent is, uh, they can't consent to a whole lot of things like getting a tattoo, owning a gun, voting, drinking, smoking, joining the military. Then they can't do that shit either. It's just their brain isn't developed, and they don't have the world experiences to understand how it could affect the rest of their life. And that goes for men, women, boys, girls, all that.
yeah,
You've got to you've got to have some years under your belt to understand. I have the issue with my son all the time. He doesn't have the experience to understand. One, how things were different, and how things will stay with you, and be more or less kind of like on your permanent record, whether it's like on file with the government or just in your head. You can't undo
yeah.
some of those mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes. Uh,
The deepest scars of those in your soul.
right, and you regardless of the mistake, you should walk away from it wiser. Maybe not completely forgiven by society for said mistake. Thankfully, I don't have any of those under my belt, but I've seen a lot of people do some crazy, stupid shit, and they're never going to live it down. It's always going to be with them. It's part of who they are now, and uh, think before you do that stupid shit. If
Uh, who
someone
was it that
offers you money
wrote?
to be on, the remake of Jackass, just say no.
Yeah. If Shadow offers you a part in one of his films, just say no.
That don't exist, never will exist. Well,
Shh.
there's a couple of conditions where those might exist,
Who was
but
it that wrote?
See,
Who was it that wrote? A crown of lies is a crown you can never remove.
I don't know.
You're
I just
wearing it, bro. We know what kind of fucking films you make.
I don't make those kind of films. We had one guy come on one
That
time,
counts. It
and I
counts.
didn't make the film. Literally, you should actually blame YouTube for that.
Shut
Uh,
up.
oh, that fixes it all, doesn't it? I'm surprised we haven't heard from Felix lately.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Felix,
Speaking of people we haven't heard from, I told myself I was going to call Hungar today, and I totally forgot. So I'm going to
pick
have
your
to
phone
call.
up right now.
My phone's charging. Otherwise, I would.
He was on James's podcast this morning, or
Really?
stream.
Okay. As long as he's still kicking and doing stuff, you know, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Oop. And not in the hospital.
Right?
Don't know if he was in the hospital or not. Didn't look like a
Yeah.
hospital, but
Yeah. I talked to him when he
I
got.
he
I literally
wasn't.
talked to him. The last time I
He was
talked to
home.
him was the day he got home from the hospital. So,
Hmm. Yeah.
hey, what's up, nerdy? Long time no see, brother.
They were talking about climbing water towers or something.
Ooh.
I did some of that as a youngster.
I mostly ran around the roofs of buildings. Uh, we had some flat roof buildings
Hmm.
in my high school, and then
We
we have
did
a
that
couple
too.
over here. Uh,
We all do, Dean.
yeah.
Yeah, we actually had a,
Yeah,
I think it was like a 2-story gym back in high school, and that's where I learned to rappel, even though it wasn't a class and it was late at night. I had a couple of army
Oh,
buddies who taught us how to rappel, and then we went out to the Ortega Highway and did some real rappelling off some of the trestle bridges out there. That was a lot of
yeah.
fun.
I remember our gym
Oh,
had those peg things where you take the
Oh,
peg and you
fuck! I
go up.
love them, dude. Fuck! I
oh,
I,
love those. The
we had those too, but they were like no longer in use, but not torn down yet. But we'd still use them. Uh,
there
in
was a time
our grade school gym.
in my last year. I think it was my last year of high school. I was the only person who not only knew how to do it but could do it all the way to the top. And they made it kind of difficult because you had to like jump to get the first peg in. I mean, unless you were like
Oh,
6'6" or something, there was no way
yes.
you were gonna reach it. So you had to jump and get lucky. Okay, I got it in, and go all the way up. And
Did you have like we had a pole vaulting thing? They'd bring out like the extra thick mat, like foam mat, and had like you know that Olympic sport where they have the bar and you got to
yeah,
get over it.
we had
Yeah,
none of that
we had that. We had that for like a month. It was
for about a
fun.
month.
Yeah, I was in special ed, right? So we had a small class. So most of our gym out through like grade school was just playing ball hockey, and then like when the actual assigned things, right? Like instead of like the normal curriculum because we're a small
I'm
class.
still surprised no one's hit you up with any special ed jokes.
No,
You just like
I've I've, I've
softball that in there.
I've never been shy about saying that. I just don't bring it up a lot. But yeah,
I'm not surprised about the ball hockey. It's just Canada.
I've made
yeah,
a few special ed jokes,
yeah,
Shadow.
No, I know it's Justin.
yeah. But no. Like normally there'd be like you do this, then you do this, and then like through the whole year.
Uh,
Um, but except for like the 3 or 4 things that you're supposed to hit every year in gym, like the pole vaulting and the other stuff, uh, we would just play nothing but ball hockey because of that. It's like, what do you want to do? Mr. Riggs would say that, and it's like, well, let's play ball hockey. The sticks are like there,
huh.
but they're those stupid fucking plastic ones.
So did you have to wear the skirts too?
No,
Okay, because in the
no,
states it's only a girls' sport.
no. Well, it's on the gym floor. They don't have a
Oh,
fucking
Because you
puck,
don't have an ice
right?
rink.
Yeah,
Got to keep your ice hockey skills up to up even
yeah.
if it's warm out.
Yeah. So it'd be like all year round. We just play
You
fucking.
could look at
gotcha.
the Canadian
I think it was 5v5 or whatever.
the Canadian phys ed budget. It's like, why is this like $800 million on hockey sticks?
You know those. You know
And nothing
those.
else.
You know those like the cardboard barrels they'd have, right, with the metal rim.
Yeah.
We had like the one full of basketballs and then the
Oh,
one
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
full of yeah
Dodgeballs.
yeah dodgeballs, and then we had one that was just like blue hockey sticks and another one with red hockey sticks. It was like, yeah. Uh, and
Yeah,
just
we used,
like a rubber ball that was like the like the rubber balls that they had.
yeah.
No, I've
The,
never seen them.
the bright orange ones. Yeah. And you just and then like there'd be two nets and pull them out and put one on either side of the gym. It was like,
Yeah, Dean, it is fun. The only problem is that first step over the ledge or over the edge. If you can get over that, and trust all your gear, that you're not going to fall to your death, which I almost did. You're good. It's a blast once you realize you're Your rope is secure and you're in complete control. Although the guys I repelled with were fucking insane. They
Yeah.
did what was called Australian, which is rappelling head first.
Oh. Yeah.
I cannot imagine uh, uh, why anybody would think to do that. It seems the most counterintuitive form of rappelling ever. Yeah, let's go head first so that if anything bad happens, we're sure to die.
I like that. Shadow calls them crazy. Like that's a new mental state for him.
Well, for me, that was pretty crazy. I mean, can you picture yourself going over the edge of a cliff on a rope, head first, straight down, looking at, you know,
I can't imagine myself skydiving with a frickin' raven in each or an eagle on each hand, but you did it. You're the one that invented skydiving after all.
What are
it
you
really
talking about?
wasn't. It wasn't intentional. It was. I was trying to get some eggs, and
Yeah.
mom and dad were there, and I really had no choice.
Goat skin parachute.
Oats.
Yeah. You guys are weird motherfuckers. I tell you that lately.
I try.
No, but it kind of goes without saying. But thanks. Well, one thing I always wanted to try, even though, believe it or not, I'm not a big fan of heights whatsoever, but we used to have this place called Escape Country out here in California, and it was mostly hang gliders and what do they call those things? The little car like go karts with wings, the paraglider, not paragliders, but
Yeah.
parasailers. You know what I'm talking about? A little lawnmower engine in the back to,
Yeah.
to give you,
Oh yeah,
and we'd go out.
I see those around here
We'd
occasionally.
go out there every once in a while and mostly just watch, them. But there was also a lot of us would go shooting out there as well. Always tempted to just aim the rifle up instead of straight forward. Just saying, but that seems like another one of those crazy hobbies that just like
We have people around here who fly World War II, World War II, and Korean era uh, military helicopters.
really.
Really, I don't see them very often, but occasionally I do. I really love the Korea one because it makes me think
Sure.
of Mash.
We used to have right where I used to live. Every Sunday, there would be one or more actual like
Uh,
Sopwith camels fly overhead. And one of them was the
Oh
Red
wow,
Baron, three winged. Not the original, obviously, but
Try-
some
yeah.
crazy bastards went, put some together, and would fly every Sunday right over where we lived. And I wonder whatever happened to them. I'm guessing they were, back then, which was in the 70s, probably in their 70s, to want to go do
Yeah.
that. What do we got here?
can you read that?
No, hold on.
Uh, uh, can you read it now?
Uh huh.
This will delete black rights and equality. So someone had a chat on ChatGPT and they're deleting it.
Okay.
It's just like the way it's phrased.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that's how that would work, but
It's funny. I thought
I'm
that
not.
was funny.
I don't really do the racism thing. You guys know that.
Yes, you do.
I'd rather make fun of an actual individual. It's so much more fun and personal.
Yeah.
'Cause I
No.
good people and bad people from every walk of life. Being around since the beginning, I had to have.
Yeah.
And it's too easy to blanket, and encapsulate the wrong people. or not enough of the right people.
Yeah. No, it's just somebody had a weird conversation and they would get rid of it. And,
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Like
uh,
us, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Thursday and Saturday evenings.
yeah,
The Saturday show was fun. It was
yeah. Saturday show. I don't remember shit about it.
we were talking about robots.
Were we? I
We,
know I
we, we
was.
tried. We gave it the old college try, and
Whoa, 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 whoa! I don't think I put that much effort into anything.
yeah, I was hoping for more.
The
George did a
chat
great
was
job with his Crazy Eddies. That was not what I was
Yeah,
expecting. Yeah, we should always make fun of Neil Gaiman every chance you get. But you should, but more so than him, make even more fun of Neil deGrasse Tyson
yeah. You
because
need to replace
oh, I
that
thought you said
I
Neil
with a
Diamond.
Y. Yeah, yeah. Is gay man? Replace that I with a Y whenever you pronounce his name,
yeah.
and delineate the two words.
Hey,
Gay
funny how
man,
you never
gay
hear the
man.
name Gaylord anymore. Guess it fell out of fashion.
Actually, I saw somebody on
That's
YouTube with that
insane.
name.
Was there like a pitcher named Gaylord? Like Gaylord Perry or something like that. Gaylord. What was his last name?
Well,
There's a lot of
it
hotels named Gaylord,
it
and
pales in comparison to the last name of Moorcock. Just gonna say,
more cock. I've
it's just
got
like
more cock for you. That's you just gotta like treat it that way.
I suppose,
Treat it that way when the ladies ask. Just tell them I got more cock for you. That's all it means. Than any other man could ever offer you. There's more right here.
One of
It's
the
literally my man.
one of the YouTuber, not really YouTuber, they're more of a Rumble streamer. She works in a library, and somebody kept asking her for porkcock, and she's just like, "What's wrong with you?"
I kind of wish you guys played Magic the Gathering. Got so many interesting.
I did, but I don't anymore.
Yeah, I got so many
Yeah.
interesting stories of playing online with Arena.
There's a white blue deck that you can build.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's all merchants, courtiers, and slavers.
Yeah, I I was gonna. Well, it didn't have slavers, but it had a lot of
Oh, it has
bribery in
slavers
it.
in it.
Well, no, the one I was going to build was also well. In this case, it was blue. Yeah, blue white, and it didn't have slavers, but it was going to have a lot of bribery in it. I found a couple of cards
Yeah,
that you could bribe your opponent's creatures to let you attack your opponent.
there's merchants, slavers, and assassins or something like that.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Okay.
And
That'd be pretty
Yeah,
fun.
I got
it's got a name. There's literally a white blue deck that you can build that has those themes, and it's got a name. And because of that name and its authenticity to that name, it is banned from play.
I don't doubt it.
The
The
I,
name
Captain
is
deck.
I got my start playing
it's
Magic.
the JEW deck.
Oh,
Crafting. I was playing when I started playing when the Dark expansion first came out, and I've got cards all the way back to Arabian Nights and
Basically, George, the deck is themed around Crazy Eddie
yeah.
and the Mossad.
because of the assassins.
Yeah, and the business practices of people like Crazy Eddie.
But hey, crafting. If you happen to fall into about 50 grand, I got a nice big pile of Magic cards for you.
uh, 50 grand. That's a hell of a lot more money than I'll probably ever see in my life, unless my books take off like wildfire.
They
Uh,
won't. Don't worry about it.
I mean, that's like a year at a okay salary. Just saying.
40 years ago, bro. No.
What
Shadow,
do you mean?
I don't even get $1,000 a month.
Yeah. Oh, you'd have to go find a McDonald's job and hope you don't get taxed.
Mm-hmm.
fucking income tax. When are we ever gonna stop paying for World War One?
Never.
Really? Yeah, but how old are they? I'm guessing they're all in their 80s, maybe 60s.
Well, this or
Yeah,
this one.
I don't know that I know any Australians. So, but yeah, that's one of the first things that's going to go up for sale when I get the shop open. Is everything Magic the Gathering related?
Yeah, piecemeal.
Yep.
All there's vital. Cash on the barrelhead, or
Yep.
a rifle in your gut.
Yep.
Okay.
It's just stuff I don't want to be saddled with anymore. I've taken it from one side of the country to the other, played, all kinds of places in between, and uh,
That's where you're gonna make your money, keeping the fucking magic cards
mhm.
in stock.
Yeah.
If
What
if
I
if,
figure I'll do
if
is I'll take
Hasbro doesn't kill the company
what I'll probably do
more.
is uh, take a percentage of the money that I make from selling the cards that I have and reinvest it in stuff that walks in the door. We'll have signs, buy, sell, trade. People
No,
want
no,
to,
no. I mean like buying them, like getting.
oh, the new packs.
Yeah, like just sell off what you got, take the capital from that, and half of it, and call up a distributor and get
You
the
just have
boxes in.
boxes delivered.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, and then you sell the
Maybe.
packs. And
Maybe.
whatever you do, if you have tournaments, they're all non-regulated ones
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
you can't trust their judges.
I don't even know
Uh,
that I would do magic tournaments. Uh, until
yeah,
things
you
change.
want you want to do those things
Oh yeah.
because like the way you get into those, I don't know if you remember, you buy product,
Yeah.
and then there's like
Oh, you mean like they've got to buy a starter deck in 2 packs to be in the
yeah
tournament?
yeah or whatever plus $5, and then they get like whoever wins gets half the pot or whatever. Then you just keep the rest for yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, would that be enough? Would the money, the profit, my half of the profit, let's say, of the $5, would that be enough to hire a judge or several?
That depends.
Depends
If
on how many
you
people show up.
like, for example, back at my magic shop, we had a free judge. Why? Because even though, middle of nowhere, town of less than 10, well, probably more like less than 15,000 now, if
Oh,
not
with the
less than
story.
that. And he was technically an official magic judge, but he did it for free because he was a judge already.
What?
I suppose, but how do you? Well, I suppose you
Well,
just get to know the customers and that sort of thing.
it's a lot of those guys. You've got 10 or 15 people, right,
Hmm.
cramming at your table, and you sold maybe what $400 worth of fucking cards to these punk kids because those things aren't cheap these days.
No.
And then you're splitting an additional, what, say 10, so it's what, you know, $20 or whatever. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's more than $20, but
I would probably be more inclined to
50.
use credit vouchers than actual cash. That way, you actually still make some money, kind of.
Well, you're making money off of the sale of the products one way or the other.
Sure, sure, but you know, uh, whatever the half of the $5, let's say, or $10 or whatever it is, plus the cards. If the judge is getting paid in credit, then all of that money can go. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on what the judge wants. You work out the math, right? Work out the math. You probably find somebody that will do it for like $50 a night or whatever.
Well, because I'm just thinking, merchandise is marked up 50%. So,
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you're
you could also just
you just
happen.
factor that into the cost of the
Yeah.
tournament.
You could also just happen to get a judge that likes the idea of being paid in shop and not even shop credits directly. Just, oh look, I like this miniature. I'll judge for tonight in exchange for it.
right. That's why I said merchandise would be a better deal on my end.
Yeah.
Because I expect, the first couple of years, cash to be, absolute king when it comes to just keeping the lights on.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Well, as long as you do stuff right from the beginning,
Mhm.
uh, people will flock to you afterwards.
Yeah.
My mother
Yeah.
experienced that when she was doing a snack shack. The person previous kept the snack shack open just barely. When when my mom ran it, it turned over at least I think it was a 75% profit.
Nice.
Yeah, the major part of running any business is consistency. People have to know you're open when they see the time on the
Yeah,
door, and when they show up at that time, the door better fucking open.
Yeah.
Like, and,
Yeah.
there has to be a time on the door. Like,
yeah,
Mhm.
none of this appointment only crap. Like that's fine if you've got like a full time other job, and you're literally a warehouse business, like you're running out of a fucking what do they call those storage units?
Yeah, I was trying to think of that exact name, industrial complex or something. Not
Yeah,
that's not it. But yeah,
yeah,
where it's usually just you know
a bunch of roll up
auto body
doors.
shops and things like that
Yeah,
yeah.
out of the way.
Or have the
Busy.
yeah, or have those appointments so valuable that you're only needing to have one like once a month, once every 2 months.
yeah, or well, they have those places, but they're usually like 75% discount products
Yeah,
or whatever.
And they're
They're
out,
crazy,
and they're
crazy Eddie style prices.
and they're an out of the way location where they're next to a guy who does auto body works, a wood shop,
Yeah, yeah.
fiberglass, glass.
They're renting the office that company doesn't actually need.
Yeah, because they're usually. I think I was talking to Raven about it. It's like the front is like an office, with a receptionist, and then you go through the back door and you're in a freaking giant garage,
Yeah,
like a two-story garage with nothing in it but just a big empty building, and you do whatever you're allowed to do within reason. Obviously no gun manufacturing or anything like that, or maybe even if you're zoned for that, you could do that, or you know,
mhm.
um,
Seriously, you should be looking at like strip malls, like we talked. I don't know what your price range is,
yeah.
but you should
Won't know
be
what that is until uh,
canvassing. You
middle
should
of
get
next year.
you should get you should start like spending some time. I don't know why people are showing up or ending in 4 minutes or whatever. It's Raven. That would be why. Um, Canvassing the market to see what the price ranges are.
Yeah.
Because definitely you want a pool a fucking 3 table pool hall that serves burgers and fries.
Yep.
Because that's what most of those places do. Uh, will allow you to have like a pool hall, right? And so you want to go play some pool uh, very easily. It doesn't have to be a big place. You're not talking about like a nice fucking 15 table pool hall here, which would be cool. But
Right.
you said that earlier in the show. You wanted to bring a pool hall,
Well, just
but
a pool table in,
yeah,
if I only have one building, there will still be a pool table in it.
yeah. But if you can get the strip mall, I'd recommend having that a separate business because it's a different clientele, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Not saying there wouldn't be like overlap in it, but
yeah. If you're gonna have a pool table in your main game store, cover the pool tables during game hours and have specifically designated pool table hours.
Hmm.
Any food?
And a big sign, no food and drink beyond this point.
Yeah. Well, like that's the thing in pool halls. They have food and drink, right? But
Yeah, but those are
they're
people who are very accustomed to the etiquette of being in that location. You have a bunch of gamers, like us, and then there's a pool table. They're going to be bringing their nachos and their Doritos and their Mountain Dew within spilling distance of the felt, and I'm not having that.
That's that's why. Well, I would make a slight exception to that rule if I were you, which is closable tops. If you can close the top and keep the top closed when you're not drinking out of it, it's an exception.
you're still having like kids and shit that don't belong in that kind of
Just
environment.
give everybody sippy cups.
Yeah. Sippy cups still spill.
Yeah, but not quickly, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might dribble, or if the top comes entirely off, that's a possibility. But for the most part,
Yeah.
they're designed to you can hold them upside down and nothing's coming out.
Yeah, that's how coffee cups come these days, right? Basically, most adults that buy their coffee outside of their house drink from a sippy cup.
Yep.
I've got an empty one right here. You want me to break down the anatomy for you?
It's got the valve or the bladder.
Yeah, I know. That's why I
exactly
poke
what
a
that
hole in
is.
the other side so you can actually properly drink out of it instead of having to suck on it.
That's a fucking sippy cup if I ever saw one, motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Well, just like a sippy cup, you have to suck on it to get any liquid to come out.
Yeah, they actually make the Tim Hortons ones. They make them big.
Not the American ones.
Yeah. Starbucks, it's just a little slit.
Oh, I don't drink Starbucks. Even my favorite coffee stand, it's a tiny little hole. Like
Yeah.
jewelry beads would barely fit through it.
Yeah, that's because you're more infantilized than us Canadians. You can tell.
Oh no.
You
No,
can
what's
tell
up,
ours
Mr.
is. Yeah. Hey. Oh, he's in the background. We were calling for you earlier, you shirtless bastard.
Oh, sorry, I just done training my second training session of the day.
You can tell ours is Canadian because it has the maple leaf.
Oh, is that what you're talking about? Like you get to suck on it for liquid to come out. I was thinking like you're talking about like Shadows movie again.
Good man. I see. I see. You're ready for the set though.
For the
Nah,
Yeah,
you kidding me?
the
He's
close
too
up.
manly for Shadow. He needs to be a
Oh
lady boy.
no. He has his own series. It's called Twink Smasher.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not airy enough to be a bear though. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I like a what do they call it? An otter.
Otter.
We didn't say you were the top.
Mr. Max, how's it going, Raven?
Yeah. So Max, while you're here, we had a question about Star Trek. I don't remember what
Yeah,
it
go
was.
ahead.
I figured I don't remember what it was, but I figured you were an expert enough that you could just tell us what it was as well.
I'm not an expert. I don't even like
Was
show.
the Enterprise the flagship?
Yes.
Well, that particular thing come up from the fact that I'm not a Star Trek expert, and I was always under the impression that in all, at least during Star Trek and Star Trek Next Generation, Enterprise was supposed to be going through the same exact struggles as every other ship out there. So it's literally
Well,
like this
yeah.
is the day-to-day life of everybody in Starfleet.
No, it's like the most advanced ship. It's like the jewel of the fleet.
Well, I knew it
I
was the most
think
advanced
that
ship, but I thought it
even,
was supposed to be like everybody
But-
goes through this type bullshit.
But was it the flagship in TOS?
I think so as well. I think in TOS it's even more so. There, it's even more advanced than the other ship.
Yeah, because think about all the diplomatic courier missions
Oh,
and
okay.
ambassadors that were coming and going and things like that.
It was the first of the Constitution.
Constellation.
I think it's Constitution class. I think.
Constitution.
Really?
Yeah. Constitution.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm not an expert.
He's looking it up right now in his specialized Star Trek database.
Exactly. Yeah. Constitution class was the Federation Starship class of heavy cruiser.
I don't know what that is, but it looks like Max has a faceless standing behind him.
Yeah.
What?
When you look, when your computer is nice and bright, it looks like there's a faceless standing behind you.
Oh, it's
Yeah, some sort of
my microphone. It's my microphone
okay.
that the lights shine off. Oh, fuck,
Oh
I
well, it
swear
looks
to
like
the
it's
dog. Can you
behind
hear
you,
the
not in
dog?
front of you.
Yes, we can hear the dog very loudly. Raven,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah, how are you? We
I'm
got
fine.
30 seconds.
I'm fine. I'm,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, you missed a good game last night.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
You heard.
Yeah.
I
It's a lot
was
of
the
fun.
boss. I pretended to be some guy's god.
Yes.
Eh, eh, eh,
And you actually went into a temple and it didn't get struck by lightning and burned to the ground?
yes,
Wow.
yes.
That's impressive.
This rarely, if ever, happens to me. Just rarely though. I pretended to be his god and told him he had to go on a holy war. He had to root out the evils and defy all these people, and he had to do it in the name of the Kazon Ogla from Star Trek Voyager.
There was a book coming in, so that's. Let me check if it's not, and if it's not,
Yeah,
it's probably RPG.
I'm gonna write some special smut just for you, Max,
Yeah.
and send it to you.
Oh yeah, look at
Yeah.
that. It's fucking Ginger Fraser's book, The Shocked Oyster. There you go.
Who?
Ginger Fraser, the
the
guy from
Black Lodge.
the Black Lodge game.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. You were talking about this the other day. The shucked
Yeah, I know, but
oyster.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. I received it. They fulfilled their Kickstarter.
And I thought
I
Ginger
thought
was a girl's name. Just saying.
it's
No.
a color.
He's a ginger.
Yeah, he's a ginger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They made a joke on the show because he looked like Frasier but a ginger, and the other guy looks like Steve Buscemi
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
gay
Ginger
or
yeah, he
Fraser
something.
does.
and young Steve.
Steve Buscemi, young Steve Buscemi.
Did anybody ever see Boardwalk Empire?
Yes. Some episode. I didn't watch the whole thing. Didn't get
Should I
into it
watch
too
it?
much.
Is it on Tubi?
It's fucking doing the thing.
I'm watching Black Sails right now, and I'm just
The pirate
finishing.
show.
Yeah, I'm just
It got
finishing
too
season.
diverse for me at some point.
Yeah, yeah. There was a subplot of the captain might have been in a gay relationship in season 2 as
Yeah.
a subtext, and
I,
it's kind of disturbing.
I just
Great
picked
Yeah.
intro though. Very nice intro for the show.
Very simple.
the visuals are great. It's like I think it's Michael Bay, and that's his thing.
Is it?
He's very
Boardwalk
visual.
Empire.
No,
No.
the Exhale.
Yeah, I know. I use speech to text a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that we can have a fucking I was all in like, oh, it's gonna pirate show, good visual and stuff like that. And then it all turned like into like fucking global homo propaganda again, right? Just like it's every fucking thing. We can't have any fucking nice thing anymore. It's annoying. Let me bring the camera closer so you're less disturbed or lower. There you go. Is that better? Is that better for you? So you see a little less of my flesh.
Why couldn't you just put your wife beater back on?
I just got out of the shower and I'm probably not gonna put a shirt before I go to stream tonight.
You couldn't put it on before you go to stream in the afternoon or the evening.
I'm gonna be here like for 5 minutes. Like we're past time already.
Yeah, well,
I just came to drop by and say hi. Does that bother you so much? It's
yes,
not
it
worse than what
does.
you would see at the beach.
I don't go to the beach.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you picture Justin at the
You
beach?
see this? I do not have monochrome on. This is just my normal skin color.
Yeah. Well, then you should.
Yeah. So
Take care, Dean.
this motherfucker names the god to the religion Kazon, right? For the temple that we went to.
Random, you know.
Yeah. So I insisted on always finishing it with Ogla from Star Trek Voyager, Kazan Ogla or whatever it was.
I don't know. I didn't watch Voyager. That was like
I don't
Nobody's-
believe you. I think you memorized every fucking episode line by line.
man. Think about it. Female captain.
That's
Yeah, that's-
especially why. That's especially why you would have done so.
Nah.
Hey, Mr. Max, what time's the show on tonight?
Yeah.
10 p.m. 10 Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's our game. It's our campaign, right?
Okay, because I've got a show with Cal Vanoni. I'm doing a one-on-one with him, and I did want to.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, that's 5 hours from now.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it at 6, so 4 hours from now.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the stepping on each other. Like I don't like.
No. I was. What I meant was I was gonna maybe stop in and see how you roll your games.
It's like it's like session 11 of our campaign, right? So, but yeah, if you're curious at some point, right? They're all on VOD as well. But yeah, it's not me running the game. It's Crispy.
Oh yeah, what the hell? Crispy was supposed to get a hold of me. I had a message sort of from Shauner's family for him.
I'll remind him for you.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows how to get a hold of me. You know, he's probably never seen my channel or heard of me, but I think we have actually
get you. I'll serve as a bridge.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so we'll take that as the first round for wrapping up. We know what Max is doing tonight. We know what Shadow is doing tonight. Okay, George, you doing anything?
No plans.
Okay, Raven,
No
Perfect.
plan.
TCG,
Get some more work done.
get some more work done. I'm gonna eat dinner and take a nap.
Yeah.
And then maybe get some running done. See you guys on Wednesday.
Cool.
Happy trails, guys.
Yeah, and I'll post. We have to post something for Friday, was it?
Try to get some writing done. Just I like it if you guys put your document in the thing to let us know you're actually in. There's a thing you'll have access to in my Discord called the writing group links. That's the room. You'll see other people have already posted documents, even if they haven't actually started writing in them yet.
Okay.
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 I'll link it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's already up.
Yeah.
Okay, is that how I should set up this Google Docs thing? Because I was playing around with that this morning when to post my outline.
One thing I